Hello traders, welcome to today's analysis for Tuesday, September 23rd. So news-wise tomorrow, we just have some medium impact news, new home sales at 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's zoom out into the weekly. So today we had a pullback day, pretty much the progress we made yesterday. We came all the way back down today again. Still 66.96 is going to be the main daily level that we are looking at right over there. If we go here into the hourly, you can see now this is the main area we are looking at. This is the long term, and then this is the profile for the weekly. So 67.19 is now one of our main hourly levels. And then below that, this whole 6700 to like 6704 low volume node zone has been huge support on Monday and again on Tuesday. We do have right below the daily level as well, 66.96, and then 66.88 would ultimately be the larger bottom edge of this node. Okay, so bulls want to get back above 67.19. Then we're going to be coming into this low volume node area, but we need to turn this to support and recover up into the 67.30 level, and then that would lead us, pretty much would put us back to 67.45 will be our next major target. Here, we do have this consolidation here. So this was the demand block, and you can see we came down, offered no real support, and we broke down. So on a move up, this is going to be the first area we're looking at if we reject. But if we manage to get back into here, start turning these levels as support, and ideally, like I said, we get back above 67.30, 67.35, and then we have a move back to the big support on Thursday before we started the breakdown here right at 10 o'clock. Okay, so main thing, get back above this, come up to the high volume node edge right here, and then look to just keep flipping these low volume node areas up. Downside again, we have this big edge area right around 6,700. This is the level bulls want to hold. If we lose this level, then potentially we're coming to 66.88 right here. If that happens and we do have a good reaction, then look for a recovery of the lows from Monday, Tuesday, and then a squeeze back up from there. Weekly profiles. Here you can see we are teetering right on the edge of the last week profile area. And then for this week, we've come back inside of this lower distribution from Monday, back tested it, and now we're rejecting. Okay, so now we're looking either for a breakout here and then coming up to the next level here at this low volume node edge, or a move back to the bottom area of support here. And then below that, we will be looking at this bottom edge from last week's low volume node into the 66.90s. If we go into TPO, so we left the all-time high, poor high, unfixed. You can see we almost tested it. It missed by one tick. So basically we made a double top right over here. We did leave a small single there, but this is the bigger single right over here. Let me actually make this thinner. So this area right here would be a fill up into the 67.31. And again, I said we want to get back above this level, turn as support, and then we can look to fill this singles area. We also left a poor low on today's RTH session as well. So this area into the 6700s, again, has a lot of confluences there. Going on the tick chart, you can see yesterday we left a very significant high volume node, and overnight we came right down to the low area, and that was the low of the extended hours into this low volume node support. We pushed up, and right at the New York Open we came exactly to the top edge and the highs from yesterday's RTH session, and that was the high today, and we just started the whole breakdown from there. And you can see right here, pretty much once we lost this big low volume node support from yesterday, things just started really accelerating to the downside. And zooming all the way down, you can see pretty much we undid the entire move up from RTH yesterday. We undid it today, right up into just like around 140. We came and retested to the tick the naked point of control from the overnight session on Sunday into Monday morning. And you can see right there, this naked point of control tested at 140, tested at 3 o'clock. Both times held very well. And then we had just a little late push to close the session. Here's the little breakout. But overall, pretty bearish day that we ended up having. 5 minutes. So if I zoom in, you can see here pretty clearly as well the low volume node edge support. Make that thinner right here. And you can see we had support right at the open, but then we just lost that level and then started flipping all these low volume node areas from support to resistance. And right now, we opened the overnight and we pushed up to the upper edge of this low volume, top edge of the high volume node from the Tuesday session, rejected. And we're now pretty much just sideways. What I want to see again is a recovery of 67.19. Turn this to support. First area we're looking at to fill right into the 67.30s. Then from there, 67.35s. You can see here the minor nodes that we are looking at right there that we are playing with. Okay. Downside, 6,700 levels into the lows of today, Tuesday, and then daily level 66.96 right below. NASDAQ, weekly, daily, again, the entire move up yesterday was pretty much undone today. So far, we're holding during Asia right around the area of closing. Downside, we have this swing level, which we didn't actually test. So 24,647 first, and then 24,553, which is a huge untested broken resistance level, which we've not yet tested back. So you can see here pretty much this fair value gap here on the daily chart. Hourly. So we started today, Asia, Europe, pretty much trading sideways, building up all these volumes here. We had the breakdown and then the perfect back test of this 24,975 level. Came right back down. You can see we started holding right over here. I had drawn here the bullish order block that we had. Started holding for 3 hours, but then right at 12 o'clock, we started getting the breakdown. We haven't actually back tested this level, so I would still, let me actually mark it out again. And let me go back to ES and do the same thing, because these levels would be good to track if we come for a back test. So if we see the long-term chart, long-term profile, we have that here, and then on the weekly we have this here. So 24,864 is our first area here, resistance Monday breakout. Now below, but looking for something like this, break above, turn to support, then we would come back to this area here, and then 24,931 will be the next hourly level, followed by 24,975. And here we have the smaller distributions right there. Okay, downside right here. I'm gonna actually just make this one whole zone, just so we don't have it so two little zones right on top of another. Let's just make it like that. One larger zone right there. So here you can see we actually have a large area of support right around the middle of the long-term profile. Resistance, support, support again, okay? So this area right here, 24,780s, is the next major area of support. If we have a strong close below this zone and hourly level, then look for a back test, and then we're coming into the lower zones here. But ultimately, this swing level we talked about on the daily, that's right around the bottom edge at the lows of last Friday. So let me clean all this up. Overall, if we lose this level, this is now for the pivot level that bulls want to hold above. Lose this level, and then we're looking for a move back to the lower edges of this high volume node right over here. And then again, upside, we're looking for a breakout, and then coming up to this next targets here and to the upper edge here from our weekly profile. The weekly profiles here, you can see we have the high volume node from this week, and then the big high volume node from last week. And we're just teetering now at the top edge of this node. But if we have a strong close below this lows right over here, then like I said, we're looking for, a move back into the main cuts in volumes here. We have this cut here, this cut here, this cut here. But overall, this bottom edge, the low of last Friday, would be the main target down, okay? And remember too, the point of control, which was exactly the lows on Monday when we pulled into the point of control from last week's profile right over here. TPO, so poor highs still at all-time highs, and then we do have, again, just like ES, we have a little bit of single fills into this breaker block that we talked about. Ticks. So you can see overnight, really nice side-to-side movements. We opened up right into the low of the RTH high volume node, move all the way to the top. Came to the top, rejected, all the way to the bottom edge again. Rejected, came back again, and then here right at the open of New York, this is when we really just turned this bottom edge, lost it, and then went from support into resistance. Then same thing here. We established support here, then we lost the support, and we had the acceleration down. And zooming out, we established pretty much from like 130, form one big high volume node, which just like yesterday, now that node is going to be the guide to start off the Asia and European session. So we have a high volume node here. We opened and pushed right above, but then rejected, and now we came right back into that zone. You can see we have this little trend line, which is now starting to break out. So overall, we're looking at the top edge of the node first. At the bottom, 24,795. Big area of support here, lots of delta absorption at the lows. So this would be the first major area of support. If we can break this above, then we're looking at this as our first target area, followed by the 24,981 hourly level right over there. Okay? And that's pretty much it for tomorrow. We'll see again how we are when New York opens, but we have some pretty clear long-term high volume node areas that we are now going to be dealing with. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thanks all for tuning in. Hope you have a great day, and we'll talk again tomorrow.